If you don't even know what omakase is, then you're probably not my person. It's really bougie, and if you can't afford it, then you probably can't afford me. Hi, everyone. You're listening to The Modern Bay Woman. I'm Cathy.
And I'm Jackie, and this is the podcast where career-driven, wellness-minded Bay Area women come together to
Share their thoughts and feelings
laugh through dating stories.
and find community in this journey we call life.
So this is our first episode of season 1. We're going to talk about getting on the dating apps, what makes a good profile, dating for checklists, but also dating for vibes. So Cathy, what dating apps did you download and why?
So I was trying to figure out which app to try since there are so many, but Hinge is widely considered to be the top app for serious relationships in the Bay Area. I also talked to a couple of friends about dating apps, and many of them recommended Hinge as a great first app since there's a lot of people on it and they've had good experiences. I know you're in a long-term relationship, but did you join the apps when you were dating, and when was this?
In my young dating years, I tried Bumble and Hinge. This was around 2014, but that was when they just came out. So, like, they didn't have a lot of traction, just like Bay Area shit being like an early adopter, I guess. Then later in 2018, I was dating again. And because I was feeling like those apps wouldn't give me a lot of traction, I just stuck with Tinder that time. But that was, 7 or 8 years ago.
And you've been taken ever since.
Yes, I've been taken ever since. So did you use any of those early dating apps back in the day?
So, funny story, I actually met my ex on League, which I feel like is also very Bay Area. Their pitch is that it's for people who, quote unquote, refuse to settle. And it would produce a curated daily batch of high quality verified matches based on specific preferences, education, and career milestones.
Oh, interesting. So, but you didn't download League or Tinder this time. What's up with Hinge these days?
So, Tinder is still a pretty popular app, but according to Google's AI overview, Hinge is the go to dating app for long term dating. It has a prompt heavy profile format that plays well to the literate and ambitious Bay Area demographics. So, people like us.
Like us.
And I also remember I didn't like League as much because it only gave you 3 options of guys to go through on a daily basis, and that was it. And I'm not sure if that has changed since a few years ago, but I just felt like it was too few.
Okay, so since it's been, like I just said, 7 to 8 years for me since I was on any dating apps, walk us through setting it up, getting on your app, creating a profile, and getting on Hinge.
Yeah, so I basically uploaded some demographic information, some photos, answers to prompts.
Ooh, okay. Tell me more about the photos you choose for your profile and why.
Yeah, so I'll talk through 3 of them. So the first one is a headshot of me in portrait mode with the words woke up like this. So the background has some greenery. I'm wearing a black top with a white jacket that has these kind of like flower designs on it. And this is definitely the type of photo I would recommend for people to have on their dating profile because you want to make sure people know what you look like so you're not catfishing them.
Right. It's like it shows your face, it shows that you're smiling and
Mm-hmm.
you've like done your hair, and this is like how you show up every day. Is that kind of
Exactly.
the vibe?
Exactly. And then the second one is a photo of me looking like a hot rich auntie with the caption planned it or candid. I'm in a bright pink long dress with a sun hat and glasses. I'm posed in front of beautiful clear water at a beach in Hawaii. I personally love being in the water and I really enjoy sunny weather. So both of these things just make me so happy. And I wanted to share that with whoever came across my profile.
Yeah, I was going to say, this looks like Hawaii. It looks like I'm on vacation
Mm-hmm.
and you were wearing bright colors, so it shows a little bit of personality.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then the pose is very like she's looking off in the distance with one arm up. She's future thinking and planning.
Yeah. And it's like a little like model-esque, you know?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And it's full body. They always say, like, show your full body because, again, you don't want to be catfishing people who are expecting a certain body type and then, like, they meet up with you and it's like,
This is not
this is not
who
who
I
I
thought,
thought,
yeah,
yeah, you were going to look
what you
like.
look like.
Yeah. Okay. What's the third photo?
Yeah, so the third one is a hiking photo of me at Banff National Park in Canada with the caption, "My submission to National Geographic." So this photo literally looks fake because the water is like pristine. The mountain scenery is so beautiful. There's white clouds, mountains, trees, but it just looks like you're photoshopped in because it's so nice. It looks fake.
Yeah, it
Right?
really
It's like
does.
you just got dropped in a photo. And I feel like a lot of people in the Bay Area love hiking, myself included. So I was hoping it would resonate and attract people who had similar interests to mine.
Right, because you're not just saying, I like hiking. You're like, here I am at this like super picturesque hike. Like I actually traveled to go on this hike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually really enjoy hiking, not just looking like I'm hiking.
Yeah. It's like not the trend for me. It's like actually seeking it out, actively pursuing it. I am interested. Love it.
Exactly.
And you look really good in all those photos. So tell me more about the prompts. Is it like a fixed prompt selection or can you pick them?
You can pick the prompts, and the one I chose was "The way to win me over is."
And how did you respond?
I said, "The way to win me over is to skip the small talk and meet in person to see if we have that spark. Because you can text all you want, but until you meet someone in person, you won't know if you vibe." Another one of the prompts is, "What are you looking for?"
Okay, and what did you say for that one?
I said, "I was looking for an omakase, hiking, and travel buddy." And if you don't even know what omakase is, then you're probably not my person. And for those of you who don't know, omakase is a traditional Japanese dining style where you let the chef choose what you eat. It's usually for sushi, so think multi-course tasting menu of fresh raw fish over rice. It's really bougie, and if you can't afford it or you don't like it, then you probably can't afford me, and our food tastes aren't aligned, so we probably aren't meant for each other, and that's okay.
Mic drop. Okay, Kathy. So after you set up your profile, did you immediately start swiping on people? What's the next step?
Yeah, but it was super overwhelming. So on my first day, I got over 100 likes.
100?
Yeah, 100,
Oh
and
my
spent
God.
like hours swiping on people, looking through their profiles. Like it was a lot. But I do feel like this is pretty typical for women in the Bay Area. I think because the ratio is so skewed, there's a lot more guys available and a lot fewer women. Oh my God, I feel like I'm making women sound like commodities.
Hot commodities, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And so I basically swiped left and I said no to like 90% of them. And then I matched with a couple of guys who had interesting responses or their profiles looked like someone I would date. And then I just started messaging them via chat.
Okay, but what are you looking for to match with dudes?
So I basically first look to see if they have like that blue check mark to show that they are verified to be who they are and how they look because I don't want to be catfished. Then I look for cute and fun photos, engaging prompt responses that show they put in some effort and thought into what they're looking for in a partner. And then from there, you just see how the conversation flows.
Okay, so it's like you're just kind of looking for someone who's a real person and actually put effort into their profile.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. It seems like every time we've talked about dating in the past, you bring up your checklist, but this time around, you mentioned you might try leaning more towards dating for vibes. Why is that?
So I had a checklist for my previous relationship and clearly it didn't work out. So I wanted to try something new. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results.
Seriously. I hear that. So, what was the number one thing you look for in this checklist?
So, in my previous relationship, it was based off of three things. So, the first one was intellectual stimulation. So, my ex, he was smart. He went to an Ivy League school. He challenged me intellectually, and he had an opinion on controversial topics.
Got it. So, you were definitely wanting someone to challenge you, have good conversations. And what was one of the other things? You mentioned three.
Yeah. So, the second was financial stability. So, I grew up poor. So, my goal is to never have to worry about money in the future. Like, you don't have to be a millionaire, but you do need to have a good savings mindset and spend money on things that you actually value instead of frivolously spending money to keep up with the Joneses, so to speak. And my ex also happened to be a trust fund baby, so he didn't really have to worry about money.
I almost imagine there might be a bit of culture clash there, though. Like, I get trying to partner with someone who you never have to worry about finances with, but I don't know if they could ever understand how you grew up and the effort you've taken to get to where you are today. That was just like my thought. Anyways, continue.
Honestly, he probably didn't understand how much resilience, ambition, and determination I had to get to where I am today. My ex was also on track to make partner at a consulting firm, so I knew we would not fight or worry about money because we likely could comfortably afford whatever we needed or wanted for the most part. I also love traveling, so I need someone who can afford to go on international trips every year, and he definitely met the bar on that.
That makes sense. I know you already go on multiple international trips a year, so I can see how if your partner can't budget to join you on at least one of them every year, you might be a little frustrated. So, what was the third thing your relationship was based on or that like met your checklist?
Yeah, so the third thing was physical attraction. So he was like tall and pretty fit, and he cared about his health and what kind of food he put into his body.
I mean, attraction's a big one for a lot of people. There are technically multiple ways to develop attraction, but I hear you. But this was like on another level, right?
Yeah, I feel like we were both pretty active. Like, I really enjoy going hiking, exploring the outdoors, and I worked out pretty regularly. And then he went like mountain biking, skiing, climbing. So he was definitely even more active than me. And on paper, he met all of these criteria that I had, but at the end of the day, it didn't work out. So I feel like that kind of shows that the checklist may not be the way to go. And you've met my ex. Like, what did you think about him?
Yeah, I met him. We went wine tasting in Napa all together with a couple of our friends and with my partner as well. We knew he met your checklist, but it didn't seem like we could get past the formality of the event. He seemed really nervous or maybe he was just like holding back and it felt like he was hosting us as clients rather than trying to get to know us as friends.
And what was your partner's reaction to him?
He was just like weird guy.
Okay, well, to be fair, he is a little socially awkward. So
Yeah, I mean, maybe all of us were fumbling over a little, just trying to get to know each other. I don't know.
yeah, it's interesting because I didn't date for the past 2 years after me and my ex broke up because I wanted to really focus on myself. And basically, all last year, I was either doing like egg freezing or traveling to another country. And I feel like now I'm truly ready to find a partner and be in a relationship. I'm open, I'm available, I'm willing to put in the effort that it requires. And I'm just like really excited to see what kind of people I'll meet and if I'll vibe with any of them in the coming weeks or months.
So, yeah, I get that a lot of people will take big breaks from dating and they become more focused on themselves. They may take their checklist and revise it and just becoming more clear on what your non negotiables are. But in your case, you're like trying to lean away from having that checklist. So, what vibes are you looking for?
Yeah, so there's this quote by Maya Angelou, and it goes, People may forget what you said or what you did, but they'll never forget how you made them feel.
Ooh, okay. So intellectual. Okay, so you're trying to find someone that will make you feel some type of way.
Yeah, I want to find someone who makes me feel prioritized, loved, someone who makes me laugh. Your partner should be your best friend and someone you can tell anything to and feel super comfortable around.
So best friend vibes, not feeling judged, and like best friends for life vibes. How did you settle on this feeling you're looking for?
Honestly, most people probably have the same values. Like they value family, financial stability, emotional intelligence, health and wellness, basically the bare minimum. The hard part is finding someone with whom you vibe really well with, because the chances are if you vibe together, then they probably already met the checklist that you have. It'd be really interesting to hear from you, Jackie, like with your man, were you more like checklist or vibes?
Definitely vibes. I did not have a checklist. And I was a month out of a 3 year long relationship,
That seems kind of short.
probably, but I was really ready for a real partnership. So I jumped on Tinder and I went on like 4 dates in 2 weeks. And one of my matches was this dude from SF, and I thought that was pretty cool. So we had an awkward like coffee date, and I was like very unsure. So I went on several second dates, and I thought I'd give this guy a second chance too. And that's kind of when I thought the vibes were perfect. So what happened was we agreed to meet for a drink, and that led to dinner. And I really just have this vivid memory of sitting down at dinner, and he's making me laugh so hard that I'm crying, like tears streaming down my face. And I don't think he could tell I liked him, because what really mattered to me was I want to know someone's a good kisser. So I remember ending the second date or like kind of walking towards his car and being like, damn, this guy never tried to touch me. He never tried to pull any moves. So I just thought, okay, I'm going to stop this guy on the sidewalk, pull him and kiss him. And he was just like, "Oh shit, okay, like that's how it is." And I was like, "Yeah, I needed to know if you were a good kisser, and we're good."
So, how'd you know that he was the right person?
After that second date, I definitely cut off the other guys. And once we were both like, we knew that we liked each other, then we had the serious conversations about like where we saw our lives going, values, goals. And we moved pretty quickly, in my opinion. Like at 6 months, I kind of knew I wanted to move in together. We moved in together after a year of dating. And that's him right now.
Oh, wow. Look at that. That's him, huh?
Yeah.
So, I feel like love is meeting the right person at the right time, at the right place. And it sounds like that's what happened for you and your man. And hopefully, it'll happen for me in the near future. I would love to find someone with amazing vibes. So, wish me luck on my dating journey.
Thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode and we'd love to hear from you. You can find us on YouTube and Instagram as The Modern Bay Woman.
Follow us, hit the subscribe button, leave us a comment, send us an email or a voice memo. Give us all the real feels and thoughts you may have. Bye.